Cause it's like, I guess me and my mom were like the first two to be awakened in our bloodline. So it's like we gotta learn from other people or ourselves. So it's not like we really know what we're talking about or what we're doing with them. So it's
So
easy.
it's like this. You woke up first because you the only one qualified, you and your mama, to cook breakfast for the rest of them as they wake up.
And what's so crazy too, my mom used to tell me that she used to, when she used to sleep, an angel named Michael used to talk to her.
Warrior angel.
Huh?
The warrior angel.
Yeah. And I used to tell her, like, I used to ask her, like, could they possibly be your spiritual parent, one of your spiritual parents? Because she said he come to her a lot, all the time.
Those are okay. So in a different religion, let's say Ifa, right, or let's say Vadum, you be attached to a bloodline of one of the ancestral hierarchy spirits,
Right.
and they communicate with you just like you talking to me now. Only are you spiritually and emotionally stable enough to interact?
Right. Okay. It makes sense. Make a lot of sense. Because I also, with my, because I try to like extra project and stuff so I can talk to my dead people and like, you know, how this stuff go. But I saw my daddy one time, but he would not talk. And I don't know, like, if I see them in a dream or something, it's just nothing. Like, they don't talk or anything. I don't know if they got something to do with me or what.
It's your development level haven't understood the type of communication they giving you on that frequency. They might not talk with words. They might be telepathically talking to you, and you looking at them, but you ain't grasping that they're using the mind to communicate with you.
Right. Because they are on a higher dimension, right? I know they on a higher dimension than me. So, but
We do. All our ancestors is information in our DNA now.
okay.
So if we examine the self, what's in our DNA, it'll come forward and communicate through your subconscious mind. That's why you have to learn how to merge conscious with subconscious, which is a training exercise that's very difficult, and it's lengthy to practice and learn.
I have been trying to get into some spiritual practices, but like I said, I'm new to it, so I don't really know like too much about like the different practices and all of it stuff. Then when I do research, some people, you don't want to step on these people's toes and all it, you know, crazy stuff. So I don't know. But I will figure it out. Thanks for accepting the call. Nice talking to you.
All right, you're welcome. I'm about to let another caller in.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sweetie. Mm-hmm. Let's see what it do. Let's see what to see. Well, I was waiting on this other person to come in. How do we know what's our position in war, especially being a teen, and how do we live without the fake government? Fake government gonna be gone. We gonna figure it out. We don't need them here because they are obstacles to us figuring that part out. We know our position in war based on our skill set. What are you capable of doing in this war? Right now, we fighting the information war, and we fighting the spiritual war. That's the remnants of an old conjure of amnesia that we was in to battle with people that look like us and determine if they would be able to deceive us into believing that we came from another part of the planet other than the Americas when we was already here. And so what we're looking at now is to rebuilding of our communities by understanding the mechanisms of economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, war, and health. So that's 10 areas that we can start to research until we figure out our qualifications as to how we can use what we know to best benefit the collective of our communities. I hope that answered your question. Okay, I'm gonna try another one. Okay, he declined. Coach Pat. For anxiety, try St. John's wort and skullcap tea. Peace, God.
How you doing, God? First of all, I just want to say I appreciate you for doing what you do.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
I'm big into finding out about how we can utilize tech, moving on, creating a new society and civilization. How you feel about AI, and do you recommend using it? Or if you do, what are the best ways for us to use it?
So, and when you determine in the upcoming era we should use something, the first question is how do it affect the children? The second question is how do it affect the earth? If you can use a tool without it negatively affecting the children and the earth, and it can improve the life, you're supposed to use it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man create the technology that we have now. They got way more advanced technology that's being withheld from the people, from healing chambers and med beds to free energy cars that can run perpetually. They can run a car off water, but they can also run it off air. But see, they don't want to do that because they can't capitalize in a capitalist society on what you don't know. Right. So we start exercising the mind by reading books. We don't read books to tell us who we are. We read books to get somebody's perspective other than our own, and to be weightlifting for the brain. Right. And it just so happened that as you download, your genetics will put the information in the order that best serves you and your bloodline. Right. And they call it being encoded light codes in the DNA. Right. We call it when your ancestors talk to you. Right. You see the difference? They come in scientifically, we come in ancestrally, historically. They gonna tell it in a physics formula. We gonna tell it in a fairy tale. Right. They gonna give us some numbers to crunch. We gonna flip numbers into letters and the words in the alphabet. Right. So we gonna use it from a higher creative standpoint because that's the only way you can prevent yourself from being conquered and to overcome your conquerors if you've been conquered. That we wasn't conquered, but it sure looked like it. We was still at war. Right. While we was at war, they put in an interim government to operate the mechanisms of government, which is one of the couple of the different areas of people activity, mainly labor and law, because this is what they use into justification of government. They using our labor to fund a war machine, and all of their war machines is pointed at us. Right. But we don't know that because they stay apparently at war all over the world. Right. But they are being financed from one central location called Switzerland. So Switzerland remained neutral in all the wars because they funded both sides, Hegelian dialectic. problem, reaction, solution. Keep them fighting among themselves. They'll never have the time to figure out they oppressed.
Right.
They'll never have a time to figure out that their heart is attached to the earth over here. They'll think they from somewhere else because we told them. They'll believe us wholeheartedly.
Right.
That don't feel right to me.
Right.
It feel like we should have a say in that.
100%.
You know,
I got one more question.
Mm-hmm.
I found my calling. My calling is to teach my community about health and wellness. One of the big challenges I'm running into is getting people to take that portion of their life seriously.
Well, I also teach health and wellness, and I know exactly where you're coming from. People believe that these diets they have in us is our natural diet, where they wouldn't have to worry about health and wellness. Right? The misdirection, switching out the bison with cows. We don't know why they did that.
Right, because cows are native to this land.
No. And all cows are hybrids.
Right.
And if you notice, they've been blowing up and setting ablaze and killing mass slaughter of cattle.
I have. No.
That's so that the farmer can recoup it on the insurance before the corporation go down. Because there ain't going to be no GMO allowed, no artificial food to the people. But we first have to get to the position where we can control our own food development, our own farmers, right? But as for now, you're starting to see it all over the chicken farms. They are collecting that insurance money. They can't sell the GMOs coming in from the farm now. So the farmer have two recourses: let it sit there and rot, or set it ablaze and then recoup it on the insurance, because the insurance companies was defrauding the farmers the whole time. Why not get some of your money back?
So that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
We're watching a video about how there was over like 1,900 food processing plants and farms being blown up and destroyed.
Yeah, because the law of the land is to protect the children for the next 7 generations. We at the close of the age going into the Aquarian, coming out of Piscean, we have to give whatever order that benefits the most people on the land. So I say no more GMOs, and all of a sudden all that stuff start happening.
I see vast opportunity as well.
Yeah, it's a vacuum created from the side effect.
So that must mean we really got to take creating for self
more serious.
But they pushing us away from that so much. If you see the commercials, the ads, the marketing, the promotion,
it's all to lure the mind into disregarding what's in the best interest of the self. That's what it's all about. They got the advertising agencies was the biggest clients to the Central Intelligence agents for the data that they collected during MK Ultra mind control research. Why would advertising agencies be so interested in spending millions, if not billions of dollars to further this research and implement it into their ads? This is where they came up with doing the MK Ultra did the Coke popcorn experiment on the single frame of a video to determine how it would affect the people, and popcorn and Coke sales shot up. So that immediately caught the advertisers' attention. If they can make the Coke sales go up and the popcorn sales go up, what would it do to put a naked lady on the Budweiser commercial for a guy that drinks beer? Right. So she advertising the beer for a man and she in a bikini.
Right. So it just kept on replicating the same system.
Yeah. Using it in different ways on pictures, in magazines. All of the ads is designed to seduce the mind into disregarding the best interest of the self in order for them to make money off of us.
Man, make me think. I know it's kind of veering off a little bit, but about the children and about, I work in the school also every day. That's my what people would call a 9 to 5. I work in the school, and I'm noticing that, number one, the kids don't want to be there. That's easy, because the curriculum is not challenging enough. It's not stimulating enough. Number two, the teachers don't want to be there because the system is not giving them the autonomy to properly
teach
and to teach the kids. So what I'm seeing in the future, I'm like, it ain't about to be no school no more. It ain't gonna be no public school no more. It seems like, and then
the whole educational system has to be revamped.
Didn't they just, I just talked to one of my partners, they said they just shut down the whole Department of Education for the United States.
It's possible because AI running out of money to keep the artificial facade into place. As it runs out of money, it starts shutting down what it can't afford to maintain, using the law of efficiency to stretch each dollar as far as it can stretch to maintain the government. Right? They already said that by June the 1st, they pretty much gonna be, AI not gonna be able to run it no more. They was using AI to allocate resources to government agencies to give the appearance that the government was intact.
Oh, so you telling us that AI has been running the government since before AI has been introduced to us on the mainstream?
No, AI has been running the government on its own, giving orders since January of 2020. It had a certain amount of money it had to use up to kill the old system. Right? And this is why you got police stations closing in some places, right? Fire stations closing, schools closing for lack of funds. Cincinnati, I think, was it Cleveland or well, it's a city in Ohio that start with a C that didn't even open back up after January the 1st of this year. Government closed, right? You have people that's driving around in police cars with stickers on them telling you that they're not even in service, they just riding around. Right? We're not paying that no attention because AI got us thinking it's business as usual by being such a efficient spender of the funds to maintain the system. But sooner or later, it's gonna run out.
Right.
Because they no longer have the resources of us as collateral to keep it running. In the meantime, we have to try to inform many people as we can clearly that this system is over with and we go into a new system, and AI is also using fear tactics to keep people subjugated.
Right.
How am I going to be scared of a stranger on the land and I got all my family here?
Hold on. You know what just clicked for me? It sounds like the Wizard of Oz.
It's exactly like the Wizard of Oz. When you see the character behind the curtain, you realize he stole Big Mama's keys and acting like he a grown man driving the machine. And he's a clown the whole time. But it's AI. It's artificial intelligence with a 4-bit quantum encryption system using the law of efficiency, the rules of finance, fractional reserve banking, in order to stretch these last few dollars as far as they can be stretched. And as he ran out of funds in one area, it's got to close down.
Right.
This is why you see, I think the guy in California name was Gavin Newsom. They called in the National Guard. Because the only people money not cut off is the military. AI has no control over the military, only the political government and the artificial structure.
Right.
Right. So once they,
but they don't have to teach a lot of this stuff. In their practices, by practicing the controlling of the chi in varying different forms, you can perform these feats. But it takes us back to what we've seen with the drill teams marching. They still harnessing chi. They harnessing group chi.
That's right.
Right. Now you go to here. Most of this is ballet. Okay. It's not really for combat.
Okay.
But every one of them have a combat version. But none of these was designed solely for combat. This is like an airplane simulator is not the same as flying an airplane.
That's right. Right.
This is a simulated version of combat. That's Tai Chi. And at the same time every day, all the trainers get out and they doing Tai Chi in the park. Pull it up. Tai Chi in the park.
Okay, let's do
China.
Let's do it.
You see the way other people know this information of harnessing the energy to effectuate change in the environment around them. This is the beginning of what we call God knowledge. Put it up on YouTube so I can see the movements.
I put it up on YouTube. I think but let me get it on YouTube real quick.
We learn the same thing, but we call it land dancing. I don't care whether you hillbilly land dancing or whether you're doing the Icky shuffle or whatever. The Cupid shuffle, you still land dancing. It's the same general principle. It's just different steps involved. So in China, part of the reason why they keep this tradition up because it's part of the integrity of the nation's unity.
Oh yeah, this fire, right? You be dropping it. I'm feeling it. You be dropping it. People were saying this fake, man. That cheese fake.
No, this is the ballet version of one of the most deadly martial arts. The mock. But this ain't why we want it. It's teaching you to harness the chi in it. Once you know what it feel like, you can build it. You can use the science given to you to write your own magic, which makes it more powerful. And that's why every sorcerer, witch, warlock, priest, they all got what we call grimoires, diaries, journals, right? Even scientists keep journals. This is because in journaling it, you can review it as if you're somebody else. And it'll show it to you from a different angle. Right? You repeat stuff over and over until you master it. Once you master it, you create grooves. You create grooves in your psyche that allows you to be able to perform muscle memory flawlessly. These moves is to mimic muscle memory or train muscle memory where you don't need a whole lot of strength. This sword fight here, this is a little bit different.
Yeah, they doing like let me get another one. So this energy is they drawing from within. They pulling this energy from within. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then when they all doing it together, it's expanding the energy. It's allowing them to have greater control of their spiritual awareness. That's why they don't have any problem talking about that. The what?
Okay.
This is what it look like in a group with 3 men. 300 men. Yeah. So this is what it like in a group doing it. Yep. So it's group cohesion.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody.
They learn all of the moves. And while they learning the moves, they feeling the energy, learning and instructing them on what to look for, what sensations to feel for. So then it's easier for them to control their inner self. Taming the monkey man.
They teach this in the Avatar movie too, man.
Yeah, it's all in the anime use it because it's part of the culture of the Earthborn. You find it all in there, but remember that everything is exaggerated.
Yeah, see,
The skill that it takes to make
right there.
Go ahead, Elder.
No, I didn't want to cut. I know you start talking. Because people say you gotta let them talk. Yeah, I'm letting them talk. So I'm just.
Oh no, you can talk too. Don't go.
Say energy. Okay, I was gonna say the energy. This energy. When I practice martial arts and I did all the moves and the breathing, and it's like I was drawing some kind of. It feel like you know what it feel like. It feel like the same thing I feel when I know when the adrenaline kick on. It's like I got control of this adrenaline. I'm extra strong, super. I got super energy. So it feel like an adrenaline rush when you get in the whole of this energy. So yeah, a woman can knock you out. A woman know about that chi. She can hit the biggest man. No matter how big you is, and you will get knocked out. I'm telling you,
that's called the death touch.
Okay. Go ahead on that, bro. I ain't want to stop your train of thought, but I see. This way where we going. This running this again. This is where we going with this energy.
All of this is part. So one of the things that we're gonna be teaching when I finally get done with this part, and we get back to the culture, is they got this lady over in England who teach children how to read blindfolded.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Matter of fact, you can put reading blindfolded, children blindfolded in YouTube. They can see what I'm talking about. I'll tell you what video it is. But the mind can perceive well beyond the known five senses. But if you never activate any of the high senses, scroll down some.
But that's the lady right there.
Trying to see the one I was looking at. The little girl right there with the red on.
Okay, good. Maybe right here. The Indian girl. I think it was in India, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's where the lady learned technique in India, but she teaches it in Europe.
Yeah. India. I read this a long time ago.
Yes. So it's not. This ain't the only thing that they're gonna be learning. It's just one of the things I thought was gonna be fun to teach.
Hey, you know, Rod, you was talking about this. What you teaching now? You was talking about when I first talked to you, but you ain't go into it. When ready, you was talking about the blind and all this superpower. You was talking about this right when I met you, like about a couple months. It might have been like a year ago when we met. But you was
I got videos on all this stuff from when I first started, because I was talking about the revamping of the educational system. Right? I got posts on my Facebook going back to when I first started, because this part of the curriculum. It's obviously not really playing too good on here, but they can go look the video up. They know which ones to look up. But you can look at a couple different ones. This is how they say Stevie Wonder can see.
Yeah.
He probably can see because he don't need his eyeballs to activate his optic nerve to perceive what's in that arc field. This is part of artistic expression, because when you're an artist, you coming from high resonance on your mitochondria. That means your mother infused a lot of unconditional love in you when she was developing you. And now you're so strong and you gotta artistically express it. You find yourself becoming what they call a prodigy child. Right? Master of the violin at 3. Sammy Davis Jr. was tap dancing whole shows at fucking 5. Shirley Temple. Right? We forget about them because the black and white footage seems like it's not like we don't know how long it took. They kids used to do that shit. And they used to master it at a rapid rate because they had mothers who infused high mitochondrial energy in them. Right? And that's why the nation can rise higher than women, because mothers that love the children cause their mitochondria to overflow. That's how you make Earth angels. Right, and it also affects the physiological appearance of the child.
We've been through that. We called it marking the child. The mother can redesign the child from what the genetics say to what she want to be by marketing.
Right, go ahead.
And we all go back to this, harnessing that energy. Qigong is similar to Tai Chi. It's just a different discipline.